All right, welcome. We're about to dive into a secret from the Zohar, a really profound sod that gets right to the core of how reality, how desire itself actually works. It's about this hidden switch, you could say, that has to be flipped for the world to truly wake up. And what's so wild is that this ancient text suggests that we're the ones. Our finger is on that switch. So the Zohar gives us this incredible cinematic picture to start with. Just imagine Noah's Ark, maybe in like a 4K heritage film style, adrift in this massive primordial storm. But it's not just a boat, you see. It's an entire world of potential, glowing softly, completely sealed and silent as the waters rage around it. Inside, every form of life is there. Every possible future is contained within it, but it's all in a state of like suspended animation. This ark, it's a metaphor for what the mystics call the feminine principle, a vessel holding infinite possibility, but it's just waiting for a very, very specific signal from the outside to awaken it and finally unleash all of that life. So here's our roadmap for how we're going to unlock this whole mystery. We're going to start with the silent ark to really understand this state of dormant potential. Then we'll go looking for the awakening spark, the actual catalyst that gets everything moving. After that, we'll do something cool and translate this ancient idea into a modern cosmic system handshake. Then we'll look at the blueprint of union to see the deeper hidden structure. And finally, we'll see how all of this gives us the keys to unlock our very own world. Okay, so let's really dig into this central metaphor. The ark is so much more than just a wooden boat in a story. I want you to think of it as a symbol for the entire feminine dimension of reality itself. A vessel that literally holds all potential, everything that could ever possibly be, but it's silent. It's waiting. The Kabbalists have a very specific name for this principle, the Nukva. This is the feminine aspect, also known as Malchut, or the kingdom. It's the final of the 10 divine emanations, the Sephirot, where all the creative energy from above comes to rest. Think of it like rich, fertile soil that's just waiting for the rain. Or think of the moon. It has no light of its own, but it perfectly reflects the sun. The Nukva holds the blueprints for everything. All potential realities are encoded right inside of it. But, and this is the absolute key to everything, it is a receiver by its very nature. It can't generate its own light. It cannot initiate the connection. Just like that ark, sealed up and adrift, it has to wait for a signal from the outside to be awakened. Well, this leads us to the big question, right? If all this incredible potential is just sitting there, dormant, what's the spark? What is the sod, the deep secret that actually ignites the connection and opens the floodgates for all that divine flow? As we're about to find out, the answer is probably not what you'd expect. So on the other side of the equation, we have the masculine principle, the Torah. This corresponds to the sephira of Yesod, which means foundation. It's also called the tzaddik, the righteous one. This is the giver, the active principle, the final channel that gathers up all the divine energy, or shefa, and is just poised, totally ready to transmit it. So you've got a transmitter that's full of creative energy and a receiver with infinite capacity. It seems like a perfect setup, right? A foregone conclusion. But the Zohar tells us, no, there's a missing piece. The connection doesn't just happen automatically. And this is where we find the absolute core of the secret. Right here in this text from Openings of Wisdom, it says, to draw down this influence, another rectification, another tikkun is needed. And what is it? The awakening of the souls. This tells us loud and clear that the connection isn't a simple two-way street between a giver and a receiver. There has to be a third element, a catalyst that comes from somewhere else entirely. So let's be absolutely crystal clear about this point because it's everything. The desire of the Nukva, of the feminine principle, to turn towards and receive from the Jekora, the masculine, it's not automatic. It isn't an inherent property. It's more like a capacity, a switch that has to be flipped. And what's really fascinating is that the switch isn't flipped by the masculine principle from above. It's flipped by a spiritual force that actually rises up from below. And that activating force has a name, Ruach HaSadikim, which means the spirit of the righteous. Now, this is not some abstract cosmic energy. The Zohar is very clear. It is the collective spiritual consciousness, the merit, the sheer will for connection that is generated by our actions, our prayers, our inner work, right here in this world. This spirit, it rises up like a subtle mist from the earth, an invisible current that moves between the realms. And it is this Ruach that enters the dormant Nukva and awakens within her this longing to connect, to open herself, and to receive that divine flow. This is the bridge. This is the spark. This is our role in the cosmic drama. Now, to really wrap our heads around this, let's use a modern analogy. Think of this whole process not as some ancient mysticism, but as a brilliant piece of cosmic engineering, almost like a spiritual networking protocol. Okay, this lays it out perfectly, like a network diagram. First, you've got the receiver, the Nukva. It's like a high-capacity server, but it's in sleep mode to prevent any unauthorized access. Then you have the righteous, and through their conscious actions, they generate the ruach. Now, this isn't just random noise. It's a specific, unique spiritual signature, like a packet of verified credentials or an authentication key. That key gets sent to the dormant server. Now, it doesn't carry the main data, the divine flow itself. It just initiates the handshake. The server verifies the key, recognizes the credentials as trusted, wakes up, and opens a secure connection. It's only then, once that connection is authenticated and secure, that the main transmitter, Yesod, can start sending the actual data, the life-giving Shafah, to the now receptive vessel. So, the bottom line is this. Without this trusted third-party signal coming from us, the whole system stays offline. The giver can be ready to give, the receiver can be ready to receive, but the channel between them, it remains closed. The desire, the very will to connect, is activated by us. Our spiritual work is literally the authentication key that allows the entire cosmic system to engage in a new act of creation. So, we have the mechanism. Now let's look at the blueprint, because this process isn't just mechanical. It's encoded deep into the fabric of reality through the symbolic language of numbers and this dynamic interplay of spiritual colors. These numbers are like a cosmic code mapping out the whole process. 2, that's the fundamental polarity we've been talking about. Giver and receiver. It's the engine of all reality. 7 represents the process, the building blocks. Think of the 7 days of creation or the 7 lower sephirot. It's all about the cycles of preparation that make the vessel ready. 10 signifies completion. That's the entire structure of the 10 sephirot, a perfected and whole system where blessing can finally come to rest. And 13, oh, this one's beautiful. That's the number of mercy. It represents the 13 attributes of mercy, that transcendent compassion that allows this union to even happen in the first place, bridging the gap between finite and infinite, sealing the connection and making it sacred. And we can also see this dynamic flow in the language of color. The whole process kicks off with red. This is the color of Gevura, or severity. Now, this isn't a negative thing. It's the color of a powerful, focused, raw, fiery energy. It's the awakening of desire that rises up from the feminine side. That very specific desire then draws down a response from above, white, the color of Kesed, or kindness. This is the pure, unconditional flow of grace and mercy coming from the masculine side. But the goal isn't for them to stay separate in opposition. No, they blend into a unified hue, a state of harmony and peace where red and white, severity and kindness, the desire to receive and the desire to give, they all become one complete new reality. So, this entire cosmic drama, this incredibly intricate dance of divine principles, it isn't just some abstract metaphysical idea. It is a living blueprint for how our world works, and it puts us right in the center of the action. Let's put 2 different lenses on this just to make it really tangible. First, the video game version. The Ark is a locked level, a dormant world engine. You, as the player, can't just find a physical key. You have to complete missions, acts of kindness, connection, conscious awareness that generate spirit energy, the ruach. This energy is the unique signal that powers up the Ark, unlocking the next stage and allowing life to flow. Okay, now for the cosmic engineering lens. Malchut is a vast, quiescent quantum field of potential states. Yesod is a coherent energy transmitter, ready to broadcast. The Ruach HaTzadikim is a specific resonance frequency generated by the collective consciousness of humanity. When this frequency is broadcast, it activates the Malchut field, causing it to shift from dormant potential to active reception. This creates a stable channel for the generative data flow, the Shefa, from Yesod to be transmitted, manifesting totally new realities. So what's the end result of all this? Of this authenticated, activated union? Well, this commentary says it all. When the masculine and feminine principles finally join, they become one single, complete body. And here is the crucial insight. The blessing does not rest on a deficient thing, but on a complete place. Blessing and goodness and creativity, they need a complete vessel to be held. A giver alone is incomplete. A receiver alone is incomplete. It's only when they are finally united, through the spark that we provide, that they create the whole vessel where divine goodness can actually reside and be revealed in our world. And so we're left with this question. If the flow of blessing into the world isn't automatic, if creation itself is waiting for a signal, and if we, through our consciousness and our actions, are the ones who generate the spark that awakens it, then what spirit are we awakening in our own lives and in our world? We aren't just passive observers. We are the catalysts of creation. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Part S. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.